Hello curious strangers and my beautiful gems, it's your girl Crystal. Today's video is going to be all about what I did specifically to help me sustain a weight loss drop of 12 pounds. And if you're interested to see exactly what I did and why I did what I did, then keep watching. Intermittent fasting is not a diet. It is a pattern in when you eat and when you do not eat. We will talk about my diet changes that I had during this period and I'm actually maintaining as of right now. But the first biggest thing I think that helped me the most, even more so than my diet change, was intermittent fasting. And the reason why it helped me so much is because I did an 18/6 split. So that means 18 hours a day I would fast. That means I had 0 calories or less than 5 calories. Honestly, I tried not to even do that much during the 18 hours of the day, and then 6 hours of my day I would eat as much as my body wanted to eat. I think I built up my way into the 18/6 and I am super comfortable with the 18/6, and I would not feel dizzy or faint because I built my tolerance up to being able to have a 6-hour feasting window, and my body was perfectly adjusted to that. If you do suffer from being a chronic dieter or any sort of EDs or even having a mineral deficiency that is unchecked, I don't think that intermittent fasting is going to be the best fit for you as far as losing weight, because it may end up resulting in more problems down the road for you than you would have if you did something different. I'm very fortunate enough to have a really healthy relationship with food and with my body image. I know that I am still within the desired body standard, although I do feel like even with that, I still can be unhealthy. Being healthy doesn't necessarily mean you look a certain type of way. It is what your body is telling you. So like, for example, when I was at my heaviest earlier this year, I could not make it up the stairs without feeling like I was going to pass out. That is a bad sign for me, and that's why I decided to also go on a weight loss journey. And in doing the 18/6 split, I noticed an even more significant change in my caloric intake every day, which resulted in a caloric deficit. And that's what I'm going to talk about next, because when you are on a consistent caloric deficit, you will see results in your weight loss journey. We're conditioned at very young ages to always eat throughout the day, especially breakfast. And I'm not going to say that this is something you should change in your lifestyle. If it works for you, baby girl, then go ahead. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I noticed that I found myself having way more energy throughout the beginning of my day, the middle of the day, and towards the end of the day when I shortened my eating cycle. Whenever you are shortening your window more and more, you're becoming closer and closer to having an OMAD intermittent fasting style. I've considered that, especially since I remember speaking to a bodybuilder several years ago who did this, and I thought he was crazy. I was like, that isn't even, I don't know why anyone would want to do that. But with the results I'm seeing, with my physique changes that I'm seeing, my health, I could totally understand that, and hopefully one day I can get there. But honestly, I'm still going to be listening to my body 100% of the way. When you're intermittent fasting, it reinforces the idea of, okay, what am I actually putting into my body with this short window of time I'm going to be allowing myself to feast? Because when you are able to eat, you want to put in things that are actually going to make you feel full for as long as possible, so that the next day you won't feel constantly hungry. You won't get that feeling of the ghrelin, which is a chemical that basically makes us feel hungry. Whenever I was on this intermittent fasting trial period, I noticed the bloating went down because I wasn't putting in as much sugar into my body during the fasting periods, as well as sodium and crazy carbs that I used to normally feast on. And most of your weight loss is going to come from your diet. And I know that that sucks because so many people honestly would opt for working out and still eating trash. But if you're gonna do that, you're just basically running around in circles and you're not going to see progress that you're looking for. Try to find alternatives to your favorite junk foods, right? So for me, I had to train myself to look on TikTok and find something that is aligned with what fits your goals. So for me, I wanted to kind kind of follow a more keto style diet, and it wasn't necessarily going to be super strict because I know that I'm not going to stick to anything that's strict. And I think that that's why I have such a healthy relationship with food and my body. It's because honestly, if I want something and I've been doing really good all week, I'm gonna not feel bad about eating a Twinkie or whatever. I don't know why I said Twinkie. Twinkies are so gross, like ew. The other way intermittent fasting helps you lose weight is due to how it lowers your body's insulin levels. I highly suggest you watch Dr. Stein Ekberg's video. I will link it down below because he just really gives it a really easy to understand view for people who never really understood how any of this stuff works. And I think that was the reason why I was so committed to doing it. Our guts, our digestive system, and the way it relates to how we store certain hormones and how they're released through times of fasting, all of it just makes so much sense. And I think that's why people say our gut is almost like a second brain because of the way that it responds to what we put into it. But to sum up what he teaches about insulin is that whenever we eat anything, it doesn't matter how healthy it is or unhealthy, we are spiking our insulin levels, okay? So when you're fasting, you aren't experiencing any spike of insulin. Insulin is a fat storing hormone. The reason insulin will act up like a city girl is when you have foods that are high in carbs because they will end up turning into glucose, which becomes stored into fat since the body doesn't necessarily know what to do with that type of sugar. In some cases it uses it as energy, but once it gets its official amount that it needs for energy, the rest of it goes stored into fat. And when you're eating throughout the day, even small meals throughout the day, you are still spiking your insulin levels. And so it might be okay to have like certain types of foods 6 times a day, but that insulin spike is still causing a storage of fat. And that's one of the things that I feel like nobody shared with me before watching Dr. Stein Ekberg's videos. And I just feel like I had to really find that information out on my own, and it makes so much more sense to me now. And while our insulin levels are at an all-time low, we are experiencing other hormones that are at play to burn fat. When you fast for 6 hours, that is when your insulin levels start to fall and your fat burning begins. And another fat burning hormone released during your fast is this one. After 12 hours of fasting, your body runs out of carbohydrates to use for fuel and then begins burning fat. This is the metabolic state called ketosis. It is specifically around the 15 to 18 hour mark when I would normally either go to the gym and lift or walk a dog and get some cardio in, or just literally do a cardio day, because I wanted to get the most out of this period during my fast. And y'all, like, I'm not even gonna front because I really was thinking this is a terrible idea. A girl who suffers from anemia should not be working out with no food in her system. But what I experienced was some of the best gym workouts of my entire year during a fast. I will say the first day I did my first workout at the gym, I think I was doing a leg day. It wasn't the best, but then the following week I did another leg day and it was literally so great. I had to stop myself and go, girl, you gotta go home. It's been over an hour and you don't need to overtrain. When people say that they feel better after leaving the gym, it's not a cap response. If you find yourself going and feeling better after any physical exercise, it is literally your body responding to it by dopamine or serotonin, one of the two. I can't remember which one. I also prioritize my back and chest and arms, everything other than my legs and glutes, because as much as I love to see the changes on my lower body, I need to give my muscles up here some love as well, because when you have more muscle mass, your body will naturally burn more calories. Another tip with my results from my weight loss has been having a lot more protein throughout my feasting cycle. Even if you're on a weight gain journey, you want to have more protein, because that protein is going to be a way to help you gain clean bulk, not dirty bulk, which is where, you know, you get a lot of that from carbs when you have excessive carbs. Don't do what I did back in 2018-19, okay? When I used to just rely on protein shakes, I would have a protein shake and think that was majority of my protein intake for the day for some reason. I mean, I would still have more protein, but I wouldn't sprinkle in protein throughout the day with like my snacks particularly. So I got a little creative, went on the Health Codes website to find some really awesome recipes that I could use with my Health Code shake mix that I received. And I have made some of the most delicious homemade snacks that have nutrient dense, protein packed ingredients in them, and I will absolutely be making a video, don't even worry, because it just helped me so much with wanting to have candy but instead snacking on a fudge crisp that has like 10 grams of protein. Which, speaking of Health Code, this brand is largely responsible for why I was able to maintain a higher protein and fat diet. I'm gonna show you all of my results here on screen now. I just want you guys to get an idea on all of the things that are at play with my weight loss journey. When I started, I had a higher body fat content, I had a higher BMI, my weight of course was higher. How many of you have tried intermittent fasting? Because I'm always trying to learn more about this new lifestyle for me and ways that it can help me do even more for my goals of losing weight. So comment down below if that's you, or even if you have questions about it, if you're not sure about starting an intermittent fasting lifestyle, let me know, because I'll be happy to answer some questions that I didn't really answer in this video, but I feel like I covered just about everything. If anything I want you guys to take away from this is, love your body, yes, do that, but love your health before that. I think people should prioritize their health over what their body looks like, because unfortunately the body positivity movement does tend to cloud us in messaging that tells us our bodies and our rolls and our stretch marks look great, but what if what's going on inside isn't? You know what I mean? Like, I know it's an unpopular opinion to share and I might get canceled, but like, genuinely, if you are not healthy, you cannot argue with me about accepting unhealthy. I don't know. I feel like that should be another video all on its own. Let me know if you want me to do that. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more about my weight loss experience. It was great having you here and I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in my next video.